Welcome to Stoic Minds, where we explore the timeless wisdom of the Stoics and teach you how to master yourself, rise above distraction, and live a life of purpose. And power. Today, we'll dive into a lesson that many fail to grasp. When someone makes the wrong choice, their regret will eventually do the work that words and persuasion cannot. In life, people come and go. Some choices lift us, while others teach us lessons through absence and consequence. The true path of strength is not in chasing, pleading, or reacting. It is in detachment and allowing life to teach lessons in its own time. In this video, we'll explore how to let regret work silently on those who chose wrongly, and why your calm dignity and inner mastery are far more powerful than any attempt to force recognition. If you are ready to embrace the Stoic mindset, to rise above emotional chaos, and to learn the art of letting life do the teaching, then stay with us, because this lesson will transform the way you perceive loss, absence, and human behavior. Choices define lives. Every human being walks a path shaped by decisions, some deliberate, some impulsive, some clouded by desire or ignorance. When someone chooses wrongly, it is a reflection of their judgment, not a measure of your worth. Their errors, their missteps, and their inability to see clearly are theirs to bear. You are not responsible for correcting their perception or pleading for your value. Stoicism teaches that our peace is found in mastery over ourselves, not in the validation of others. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed." In this spirit, when someone makes the wrong choice, your power lies in restraint, in silence, and in letting life itself teach them the consequences. Do not chase, do not explain, do not justify. Each of these actions diminishes your presence and interrupts the natural flow of cause and effect. Let absence be your ally. Let their decisions become the teacher of their own regret. They may not realize what they lost immediately. It could take days, weeks, or months, but when it finally dawns on them, it will be deeper, stronger, and more lasting than anything you could have forced with words. This is the quiet, steady work of Stoic mastery, creating space for reality to act while you remain composed, dignified, and independent. Regret, left to grow naturally, will do what arguments cannot, and when they finally return, it will not be because you begged for recognition. It will be because they have confronted the truth of their choice, and by then, you will have already become someone greater, stronger, and unshakable. Seneca reminds us, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor. They crave the comfort of pretending. They crave the illusion of control over a story they cannot rewrite. And in that craving, they reveal their poverty, their moral and emotional emptiness. So, the next time they act as if you never mattered, remember this: they are running from themselves. You are the reflection they cannot face. Their denial is not about you. It is about them. Let them pretend. Let them erase. Because while they scramble to rewrite history, you move forward, grounded in truth, calm in your power, unshaken by illusions. And one day, when they can no longer hide from what they feel, when the distractions fade, when the noise dies down, they will realize the truth they have been avoiding. They will remember, and at that moment, you will not need to say a word. Your silence will speak louder than anything you could have shouted. You feel the urge to speak, to reach out, to remind them what they lost, to explain, justify, or even plead. But pause, because in silence, there is power. Real, unshakable power. Your voice is not always needed to teach the lesson. Sometimes, your absence speaks louder than words ever could. Think about it. They expected chaos when they walked away from you. They expected you to break, to call, to chase, to beg for answers. They wanted noise, drama, a reaction that would confirm their illusion of control. But when you remain calm, when you choose silence, you destroy their script. You strip away their certainty. You leave them alone with the reality they tried to escape. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." And bravery isn't only in confrontation, it is in restraint. It is in holding your peace while the world screams for your reaction. It is in walking away, not because you're weak, but because you are strong enough to let the universe handle what they cannot. Every message they send, every attempt to provoke you, every subtle reminder they drop, it meets emptiness, because you have withdrawn the fuel of validation. You do not react, you do not explain, you do not chase, and that emptiness becomes a mirror. They are forced to sit with themselves, to question their choices, to replay their actions over and over in the quiet corners of their mind. They will scroll through old memories, pictures, messages, videos, pretending to be casual, pretending it's curiosity. But deep down, each memory reminds them of what they discarded. Each laugh you shared echoes in the rooms they now occupy alone. Each word you spoke haunts their silence. You may not see it, you may not hear it, but that silence, your conscious absence, is a confession they cannot admit. It is a truth they hide from the world and from themselves. You mattered more than they were willing to accept. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And in their attempt to erase you, they reveal more about themselves than you ever could. Their insecurity, their cowardice, their inability to face reality. Meanwhile, your silence becomes your victory. Every calm moment you hold reinforces your strength. Every day you move forward, untouched by their illusions, signals that your power exists independent of their acknowledgement. Remember this, the world does not need to witness your growth. You do not need applause, recognition, or reconciliation to validate your worth. Your silence speaks volumes because it is grounded in truth, not in reaction. And eventually, when they are left alone with the echoes of what they threw away, when distractions fade and emptiness fills the spaces they once ignored, they will feel it, that quiet sting, the haunting reminder that they cannot erase what is real. They will try to deny it. They will act like it never mattered. They will pretend to move on. But your silence is a confession they cannot control. And the beauty of it is that you do not need to force it. You do not need to argue, justify, or fight. You simply exist, calm, composed, unshaken. And in the quiet aftermath, when the truth is undeniable, they will realize what they lost, not in words, not in public, but in the private chambers of their mind, where no one else can lie to them, where no mask can hide the regret. This is the power of silence, not vengeance, not cruelty, but clarity. Strength, a quiet, unstoppable force that exposes the truth without ever having to speak. They move on quickly, don't they? New faces, new smiles, everything looks replaced. To the world, it seems like nothing you shared mattered. To them, it seems as though life has erased you. But looks are deceiving. Behind the laughter, behind the casual gestures, behind the everything's fine mask, lies the truth they refuse to admit. They cannot erase what was real. They cannot delete the impact you had on them. Every memory of you lingers, every kind word, every moment of understanding, every silent glance that spoke more than words. It haunts them in ways they cannot show. The quiet hours of the night are the proof. When the world goes dark and distractions vanish, their mind drifts back to you. The memories you created together replay like a film they cannot stop. Even the smallest things trigger them. A song, a phrase, a scent, a place you once visited together. They may laugh, they may scroll past, they may act indifferent, but the truth bubbles beneath the surface, and no amount of pretending can hide it. Epictetus said, "Circumstances do not make the man, they reveal him." And here is the revelation. They were never capable of holding something real. They were never strong enough to match the depth of what you gave. And now, pretending erases only what they fear, not what actually exists. Their mind remembers every kindness you offered, every time you stayed when they doubted you, every word you spoke that mattered more than they realized. They may try to convince themselves that it didn't count. They may even tell others that you were forgettable. But no one can convince the heart. No one can erase the impact of a soul that truly cared. And that is why pretending never works, because memory is indelible. The moments they lost, the loyalty they ignored, the love they discarded, it is all recorded in ways they cannot undo. And here's the beauty of it. You don't need them to acknowledge it. You don't need them to confess. You don't need them to return. Time will reveal the truth, as it always does. Your calm, your growth, your unshakable peace, these will stand as a living testament to your worth. While they scramble to cover their regret with lies and distractions, your life continues, measured, strong, and undeniable. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. You are the example they cannot match. You are the reality they pretend to ignore. And every day they try to deny your presence, your truth becomes stronger. So let them pretend. Let them walk through life as if the memories never existed. Let them talk to others, post, and laugh, acting like everything is fine. Because in the silent spaces of their mind, the truth lives on. And one day, when the mask slips and the distractions fade, they will remember everything, every moment, every kindness, every word, every piece of their own failure to hold what was real. And in that moment, you will not have to say a single word. You will simply continue living in truth, strength, and peace. And the memory of your presence, the one they tried to erase, will strike them with a quiet, undeniable power. That is the difference between someone who truly mattered and someone who pretends it didn't. Time, silence, and reality always reveal the truth. People often believe that words define truth, but in reality, actions are louder than any sentence, any explanation, any excuse. When someone pretends you never mattered, pay attention to what they do, not what they say. The messages they avoid sending, the calls they ignore, the spaces they no longer make for you. These are the proof of how much they are hiding. Words can be crafted, polished, rehearsed. Actions cannot. They are the shadow of intent, the footprint of the heart. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." And this is why you must observe carefully their pretense, their indifference, their fake calm. It is not the truth. The truth lies in their actions, in the small, fleeting moments when their guard drops, in the subtle hesitation, the unnoticed glance, the slip of emotion. They may post smiles on social media, laugh with others, act unbothered, but silence cannot hide everything. The empty space they leave in your life is a statement. Their avoidance, their neglect, their subtle attempts to erase you. These are louder than any fabricated words. And here's the lesson. Do not chase explanations. Do not demand acknowledgement. Do not plead for recognition. Instead, observe. Notice the patterns. Notice the distance. Notice the absence. Every omission is a reflection of their truth. Every act of avoidance is a confession they cannot voice. Every pretend smile or casual gesture is a mask attempting to cover reality. And the mask will slip eventually. The Stoics teach that we should not be enslaved by the opinions of others. Their pretense is a reflection of their own fears, not a judgment of your value. You are not diminished by their inability to act with honesty. So when they act like you never mattered, do not react with anger. Do not chase. Do not beg for closure. Instead, let their actions speak for them. Let your calm, your peace, your self-respect stand as the true counterpoint to their pretense. And when the masks fall, when the truth emerges, you will remain unshaken, grounded in your own reality, while they struggle to face theirs. There is a power in saying nothing, a strength in holding your peace while the world expects you to react. When someone pretends you never mattered, every word you try to speak in response is giving them fuel. Silence, on the other hand, is an invisible force. It is a mirror that reflects their own choices back at them. It is a quiet spotlight on the truth they try to hide. It is the calm that makes chaos visible. Seneca wrote, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." And silence, in the face of pretense and betrayal, is one of the greatest acts of courage. When they leave, when they ignore you, when they erased your presence, do not chase, do not beg, do not react. Your stillness becomes a lesson they cannot unlearn. Every day you remain calm. Every day you move forward. Every day you show that your value is not dependent on their recognition. You are teaching them the truth. They will notice it in subtle ways. A missed message you never responded to. A post they hoped would provoke a reaction that never comes. A glance at your life moving forward without them. Your silence does not humiliate them. It does not attack. It does not force acknowledgement. It simply exists as a reflection of reality. You are grounded. You are free. And freedom is the most painful truth for those who cannot face their own mistakes. They wanted you to react. They wanted you to break. They wanted validation of their choices. Instead, they are left with themselves, and their own conscience begins to whisper what they cannot speak aloud. You mattered. When someone acts like you never mattered, it says less about you and more about them. It is the mark of fear, the mark of insecurity, the mark of a soul that cannot confront the consequences of its actions. Pretending is easier than facing reality. Pretending is safer than admitting loss. Pretending is the refuge of weakness. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, reject your sense of injury and the injury itself disappears. The truth is that their pretense cannot harm you unless you allow it to. When they act indifferent, remember, they are hiding from themselves. They are avoiding the reflection of their own failure. They are masking regret with pride. Your response does not need to match theirs. You do not need to scream. You do not need to chase. You do not need to beg for recognition. Your strength is in seeing the truth clearly. Your calm is in understanding their pretense for what it is, not a statement about your value, but a reflection of their weakness. Every time they pretend, every time they erase, every time they deny, they are confirming what you already know. You are real. You mattered. You are too valuable for them to hold. And in time, reality will show them this truth. No mask can hold forever. No distraction can hide what is real. Your role is simple. Remain grounded. Remain unshaken. Remain aware. They may pretend. They may deny. They may erase. But the truth they try to hide, the depth, the impact, the value you brought, will always remain. And when they can no longer pretend, you will stand there, calm and unbothered, while they finally see what they lost. Ignoring someone is never just about you. It is about what they value, or more accurately, what they fear to value. When they act like you never mattered, observe closely. Notice the way their attention flows to others, the energy they reserve for different faces, the priorities they carefully protect. This is not a judgment on you. It is a mirror of them. The people who truly matter to someone are never overlooked. Their presence, even in absence, is acknowledged. But when they ignore you, it is a confession of where you ranked in their world. And not ranking at all is not a reflection of your worth, but of their weakness. Marcus Aurelius said, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." Your response is the key. Do not chase attention that is not freely given. Do not demand validation from someone whose priorities do not align with truth. Detach, observe, grow. Every ignored message, every avoided glance, every silent step they take away from you, it is an insight. They reveal themselves without intending to. Their behavior exposes character. Their silence teaches more than any conversation ever could. And here is the lesson. Value yourself enough to see the truth clearly. Do not spend your energy explaining your importance. Do not waste your strength seeking recognition. Focus on your own growth, your own path, your own unshakable calm. Time, not words, will reveal the truth. And one day, they will realize that ignoring you was their own choice, and it was costly. Point 8. Regret is the silent COONSIQ&CI. People who pretend you never mattered carry a silent burden. They may hide it, laugh it off, distract themselves with trivialities, but the truth cannot be escaped. Regret lives quietly. It sits in the corners of their mind. It whispers in the quiet hours of the night. It asks questions they cannot answer, and reminds them of what they lost. You may not see it immediately. You may never hear them confess. But every action they take to erase you, every pretense, every lie, is a small nail in the coffin of their peace. Seneca taught, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." And in their craving to appear they reveal poverty of character. They crave comfort over truth. They crave denial over reality. Meanwhile, you are free. Your peace is intact. Your value is undeniable. And in this quiet strength, the universe conspires to show the truth. Regret will follow them, silently, relentlessly. Your task is simple. Remain calm. Do not attempt to provoke awareness. Do not chase apologies. Your growth, your presence, your life lived with integrity is the demonstration they cannot avoid. Eventually, their quiet realization will arrive when the distractions fade, when the noise dies down, when they are left with nothing but their own mind. And in that moment, they will remember, and it will hurt. Point 9. You do not need their recognition. You earn one of the hardest lessons to learn is that some people will never acknowledge your worth. Some will pretend, lie, or erase. Some will move on as if you were never part of their life. It is tempting to demand recognition, to explain, to remind, to fight for acknowledgement. But the Stoics teach us that true strength comes from internal validation, not external approval. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your reaction defines you, not their pretense. Focus on what you can control. Your mind, your actions, your growth. Do not let their refusal to recognize your value diminish your spirit. You are complete without their validation. Your calm, your presence, your integrity. These are unshakable and independent of their opinion. Let them pretend. Let them erase. Let them deny. Your life, lived fully, is the ultimate truth. Your peace, your calm, your growth, these speak louder than any confession you could force from them. And one day, when the masks fall and distractions fade, The truth of your presence will be undeniable, but by that time, you will no longer need acknowledgement. You will have already won. The most profound revenge is not anger. It is not confrontation. It is not proving them wrong. It is growth. It is calm. It is living in such peace, purpose, and strength that their pretense and denial no longer affect you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." By continuing to rise, to build, to live fully, you demonstrate a truth they cannot erase. You were valuable. You were real. You were unshakable. Your silence becomes louder than any argument. Your calm becomes sharper than any insult. Your growth becomes undeniable. And when they finally realize, when regret finds them, you will already have moved beyond needing them. Their awareness of your worth comes too late, and your power is intact. This is the Stoic way. Not revenge through chaos, but through stillness, mastery, and unwavering self-respect. Let them pretend. Let them erase. Let them deny. You will continue to rise, silently, unshakably, while they are left to face the truth they tried to ignore. They pretended you never mattered. They walked away as if your presence had been a mistake, as if the moments you shared, the care you gave, the patience you showed, none of it ever existed. But here's the truth they will never admit. You mattered. You still matter. And no pretense, no denial, no attempt to erase can ever change that. Look at their actions, their words, their silence. These are not reflections of your worth. They are reflections of their fear, their weakness, their inability to face reality. They act as if nothing happened because it is easier than facing the truth. It is easier to pretend than to acknowledge the depth, the loyalty, the impact you brought into their life. And you, who stayed calm, who held your silence, who continued walking your path without being consumed by anger or need for validation, you are the real victory. You are the living proof of strength, peace, and unshakable self-respect. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. The strength you now possess is not measured by their acknowledgement. It is measured by your serenity in the face of their pretense, your unwavering growth while they scramble to rewrite the story. Seneca reminds us, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor. Their pretense is born from poverty of character. Your calm is born from abundance of mind. Every day you rise, every day you live fully, every day you refuse to chase validation, you are wealthier than they could ever imagine. Let them pretend, let them erase, let them deny, because in your silence, in your growth, in your unwavering presence, the truth exists, a truth they cannot erase. And one day, when the distractions fade, when the noise dies, when the masks slip, they will feel it, that quiet, undeniable realization that they lost something irreplaceable. They will remember the moments, the care, the patience, the unwavering presence you offered, and that recognition will come too late, because by then, you have already moved beyond needing it. Your revenge is not chaos. Your revenge is not confrontation. It is peace. It is growth. It is the life you build, the strength you embody, the calm you carry. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." Their pretense lies beyond your control. Your response, your serenity, your wisdom, your growth lies entirely within it. And that is where your power resides. So continue forward. Live fully. Build silently. Grow without apology. Your life is your testimony. Your calm is your weapon. Your peace is your unspoken truth. And when they finally confront the void of what they tried to erase, you will not need to remind them of your worth. You will not need to fight, explain, or prove. Your life lived in integrity will speak for you. And the echo of your presence, the very thing they pretended never existed, will resonate in a way no pretense can ever silence. This is the power of understanding, of detachment, of Stoic strength. The people who pretend you never mattered are trapped by their own choices. You are free, unshaken, and unstoppable. So let them pretend, let them ignore, let them erase, because the truth will always remain. And that truth is you, calm, strong, growing, and unbothered by the illusions of those who could not hold what was real.